Hey, thank you for clicking on another Monday Ministry Moment. We are so excited. Let's get started. Welcome back to another Monday Ministry Moment. We are so excited to have you here with us. This is Nathan. You most likely know him by now. If you don't, this is Nathan.
Hi.
Hi, right. Hey, so you started a new series this week.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and I believe was it titled Hosea?
Yeah, it's just Hosea.
Just Hosea.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
And in a second, we're going to kind of touch on this, but we don't talk about the Old Testament much, right?
Yeah.
But it's important.
We don't dabble in those areas too much sometimes.
Yeah.
We should, though. We should.
It's very important.
Yes.
and so we'll get in that in a second, but man, what an exciting day it was yesterday. You know, starting a new sermon series. The band's always awesome. I mean, just a great day of worship. To our Lord, right?
It was. It was very good.
Yeah.
It was a good day.
So hey, let's start off with some questions here. You kicked off a collection of teachings yesterday on this book, and what do we need to know, or what do we need to study, or why do we need to study this book?
Yeah, I mean, we look at a lot of things in the Old Testament, and you can sometimes get this notion that, well, that was written to a certain generation or a certain people group, and it really has no application to us. And Hosea is definitely not one of those books. It is. It was written, 20 or 2,771 years ago.
Right.
But there are so many similarities between the Northern Kingdom, which is where this was taking place, the Northern Kingdom of Israel, and what we see in just Western Christianity, Western culture, within the context of where most people will be watching this from.
Absolutely.
But there's so many things that Hosea talks about, the mistakes of the people of Israel.
Yes.
And at the very end of the book, he says in chapter 14 that those who are wise, you're going to listen to what's contained in the pages of this book. And, I don't know about you, I want to be a person that is seeking wisdom. And, I know there's a lot of criticism out there about, just canceling everything from our culture and our history that we don't really like. And, wherever you land on that, it doesn't really matter. But the reality is, if we don't learn from the mistakes of people that have gone before us, we're gonna be repeating those things.
Amen.
And Hosea is a glimpse into the lifestyle of the Northern Kingdom, which very much parallels where we are today, with the affluence, with the level of arrogance of their own self-made mentality.
Yep.
There's so many parallels, and really, you could look at the book of Hosea and say it's a prophetic book, but it's a prophetic book also that applies very much to Western culture and the Western church today. So yeah, I mean, it's very relevant, I think, for us to study it.
Amen.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to add something to that, but that's good. And so true. I mean, it's so true. Yeah. We actually, just real quick, take a side note. We have our young adult Bible study group, and we've noticed the same thing. It's amazing to see New Testament, Old Testament, but so many parallels.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm glad we're able to take a book like Hosea and really define that.
Yeah.
So, okay, what's the big picture here? What are we to learn from the first two chapters that you talked about
yesterday we really kind of honed in on the first two chapters, trying to kind of pick pieces out of those that we want to talk about. The biggest takeaway is that the characters that are played or they're represented in the book of Hosea, they represent God and humanity or Israel.
Okay.
And really, we are like Gomer. We have cheated on God. We have been in an adulterous relationship. And I talked about yesterday about how that's very offensive for us to sit today and be like, whoa, you've gone too far on that. But I think what I pointed out yesterday was this is the natural inclination of all of mankind ever since this prophetic word was said to the people of Israel. I think even the people of Israel went, whoa, we've not done these things. But if you listen to Hosea's warnings, if you read the words, the judgment pronounced upon Israel from God through Hosea, you go, I've suffered the same thing. I have been idolatrous. I have worshipped the created thing, the idol. I have done that, and we are Gomer. We are the woman of ill repute that has had an unfaithful lifestyle. We are Gomer, and while that can be very heavy, and it was yesterday when we talked about it, what's even heavier to me, and this is where we kind of landed on things, is just how amazing God's love is for not only Israel, but for all of his children, which you and I would fall into that category.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just continue on that then.
Yeah.
So the point of God's love, it's a big one.
Yeah.
And so what's so fascinating about this particular image that we see of God's love?
Yeah, we get used to seeing God in the form of Father and these types of things, or God as Shepherd, and
right.
We have these really good images, mostly from the New Testament, from Jesus and the like. But in this particular instance, with the book of Hosea, we see God as the husband. We see him as the one trying to call the unfaithful wife back. And there's this beautiful passage in the second chapter of Hosea, where God is saying what he plans to do. And it's not teach a lesson to Israel by chastising her and punishing her, but it's this redeeming, like, I'm going to redeem her. And there's this phrase that he uses, it's a Hebrew idiom we talked about yesterday, of I'm going to woo her into the wilderness where their love blossomed, where their love flourished. And if you think about Israel, their love really was developed in the wilderness.
Absolutely.
Mount Sinai and the wandering and all those things. Their love for each other was developed in that. And God says, I'm going to woo her back. And the whole thrust of that is, and it's not explicitly stated in the text, but it's definitely implied. There is no guarantee Israel will say yes. There is no guarantee that mankind will say yes. Wow. God assumes all of the risk and puts himself out there on behalf of an unfaithful people, on an unfaithful person, myself and you and everybody. We're unfaithful to God, and he puts himself out there and he assumes all the risks. And that picture of love in that just those sentences, man, it's so rich. I mean, it is so rich, and it really is it's an image that we don't see a lot of, and it's not talked a lot about, but it is one that is exhibited in God and in his humanity, or in his nature, of that aspect of husband, and calling his first love out to meet him and be wooed by him. So it was intense. I mean, it was heavy, because it was just like, wow, the weight of that.
One word, you might have used this word, but I want to say that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful.
That's really it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the book of Hosea really is a beautiful love story. That was actually a phrase or a title I was going to give this whole series, was the most beautiful love story ever, because it really is. It's just this redeeming love that God has for his people. Not a nation. In the book, he uses Israel, but we have to understand it's not the nation. It's the people, God's people. So this isn't a nationalized thing. It's God's people, but it's this amazing love story of God's love for his people. So it's really, really good.
So hey, if you didn't get to see this, I mean, I honestly, I want to go see it. I mean, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a movie I'd sign up for.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Anyways, go back and watch this message. I think you'll really enjoy it. I know we did.
Yeah.
I know the room did. It was a phenomenal sermon once again. And so if you have the opportunity, please, I'm not going to beg you, but I would highly suggest, go back and watch this sermon. And continue to follow with us. Follow with us as we go through this series. How many parts?
It's 4. We're going to end on Easter. So this is going to all build to the greatest event of God's love, which is in the form of Jesus Christ. So
there you go. Yeah. Well, hey, I hope you're excited, and I know we are here.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see what the next couple weeks bring. And real quick, I mean, do you have anything to say about Easter?
Well, we'd love for you to join us. We're going to have 2 services, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. with a good fellowship time in between for our 2 services. We're going to be socially distanced. No, wait, hold on. Physically distanced, not socially distanced. I want to start changing our narrative there.
Yeah.
Physically distanced, but socially engaged. And we'll be together on Easter Sunday. It'll be a great morning. We will have kids programming at 11 at the 11 o'clock service, and we'll live stream our 11 o'clock service. So if you're still not comfortable being back with us, that's just fine. We have a place for you at the 11 o'clock service right here online. So 9 o'clock will be in person, and 11 o'clock will be in person and online, and then also kids ministry, full kids ministry stuff. So it'll be good. It's going to be a good Sunday.
Hey, we're excited, and I hope you are too. Once again, go back, watch the message, comment below, subscribe. Hit the
share
bell notification.
Ring the bell, whatever.
I always forget these. I can never remember them. But let's talk about that just for a quick second. Then the the one-click evangelism. What do you call it?
Yep.
The one.
Yep. One-click evangelism.
Yeah, one-click evangelism. This is an opportunity for you to share it with everybody you know. Most likely everybody's connected via Facebook or different things, YouTube, etc. Anyways, so one click. Share this with your friends. Share it with your family. Let them know too what's going on, and especially by Easter, invite them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, well, thank you so much. We hope to see you next week or this coming Sunday, 10:30 here in the room or online at 10:22.
That's right.
Hey, have a blessed day. We'll see you then.
See you guys.
See you.